Hello. So, when I did this recording, I had a very brief idea of what I wanted to do. And I I just ended up getting quite excited about what I was doing, and the video turned into a almost 30-minute long rant where I was going backwards and forwards about different aspects of faction building. So what I've done is I'm currently in the process of editing this, and I am going to effectively release out different points and different topics of this 30-minute long video and release them out in one go, or one after another. And then I'm going to release the entire lot of it, unfiltered as it is, at the very end, in case anyone wants to just sit and listen it from start to finish. Just want to prelude this for why my video is built the way it is. Thank you for bearing with me. Now I want to go into what each faction consists of, their statistics. So as I said, you can see here, you're going to be having some stats. These are going to be the three main ones. And jumping into the book, you'll see that you'll have cunning, force, wealth, and then magic. We'll get to magic at the end. But cunning, as it says, is just going to be your general guile, your skills at subterfuge, and your subtlety. This is going to be your spy network. This is going to be your information gathering. This is going to be how good a faction is at acquiring information, as well as moving pieces around and doing that chessboard maneuvering when it comes to the wider game. And there will be an impact for how they go about it, and thankfully the book here does go into it. You're then going to be having force, which, surprise, surprise, it is going to be anything to do with your military. It's going to be how competent you are when it comes to direct confrontation. It's going to be your might makes right kind of abilities. And as it says in here, a faction that has a low force they're not going to be the violent types. So an orc faction might have a very high force because orcs would be going about using force as their primary language. And lastly, you're going to be having wealth. Now, wealth is not just in terms of how much money that you have, but it's also your ability to acquire resources, to have facilities, your general prosperity. Now, you can be a wealthy faction, but you might not be having a very strong force. You might have to be alright and cunning, but you will find yourself being able to then wage a more economical war with your enemies in this fashion. And lastly, as I said, there's going to be magic. Now, magic is not generated the same way. It is very specifically worded as the amount of magical resources available to the faction. Now, I would like to just highlight that this is within the entire faction. So if we were to say, to take a duchy, and we were to say that they have, let's say, 2 chantries, 2 schools of magic where people are being trained, and then you can have a number of medium and lower houses that are going to have their own court wizards. Well, in the grand scale of things, that is not a lot. The chantries and the school of wizards are maybe going to be a dozen, maybe 2 dozen individuals. You're going to be having a number of teachers and a large number of students that are all being trained up. And then let's say that you have got like another 6 or so court wizards compared to the thousands of people that are going to be within the duchy. You don't have a lot of magic in the sense of like your magic casters. You are not in an overflow of magical items. The higher your magic is, the higher the concentration of magic availability is within this faction. So if I were to take like take the Mind Flayers, take the Yonti, take anything that is a high magic concentrated faction, now that will have a high magic, because magic is a part of their life. It is something that they do consistently. It is Eberron would be a high magic environment because it has a lot of magic around it. Now again, I'm focusing on fantasy because that's the one that we mainly do, but there are going to be other variations of this. If you take stars without number, you'll have technology level. If you start taking what the other ones, I can't remember right now, but you've got the variations of you've got the cities without number. That's where you're going to be having cybernetics. So you will have these variations in each of the different books tailored to the genre that you're playing for. But right now I'm focusing on magic. So with all that said and done, let's go back into the character sheets. So as you can see here, there are cunning, force, magic, treasure. Treasure is then going to be the actual currency that a faction can then spend acquiring assets. And each asset will come in the form of cunning, force, and wealth. You can buy and purchase effectively mercenaries and abilities under these in accordance to where you've got your attributes, as well as hit points, because each faction can be destroyed. They've all got their headquarters, they've all got their bases, and as they expand out, each of their assets are going to be having health and locations. It's then worth for you as a game master, as a referee, as a judge, to sit down and say, right, where are these pieces on the wider board? That's why I normally would recommend having a map in front of yourself, or having a copy of the map, so that you can play your little Crusader Kings or your little chess game, just so that it makes sense to you. Quick coffee break. Anyways, enough of that. Moving on, because there's another thing that is going to be standing out. I think it was not up here, sorry. It is down here. Faction tags. Now, that is how you set each faction apart. And they can be, as you can see, they can easily be changed around. So they can be anywhere from anti-magical, which means that a faction despises magic. The example being given, dwarves would be a excellent version where they are naturally anti-magical in the sense of sorcery and the arcane. They're likely to have some more what's called divine stuff, but you as the game master, the referee, judge, you're going to be making some of these calls yourself. But you can also have some other ones, whether such as concealed, which means all assets of the faction that they buy enter play with the stealth quality. Now, this would then allow them to be a lot more subtle, and this in its entirety will allow you to have a faction which is all around subterfuge, stealth, manipulation, and surprise attacks. Very good for an assassin guild. Also very good if you wanted to have a faction that is doing behind the scenes manipulations or unregistered economical warfare. You're at my channel, you know what you're getting at this point. It's your own fault. So with that said and done, that is the baseline for this. And then after every adventure that the players have had, or after every 30 days of time having been passed, and when I mean 30 days, I do generally mean get out your calendar and start marking it down, because every 30 days you are going to be rolling the faction turn. This is then where all of the factions here are going to go out and they're going to be doing things. They are going to be causing problems. Alright, well, thank you for watching. As I said, this is a bit of a work in progress, getting used to how I am building these videos and how I'm going to be basically structuring them. So I'm just making a very clear outro for this. Thank you everyone for watching, and there is more to come just on this topic alone.